Undeniable. This video is based on key insights from the book Undeniable by Cameron Hans. Chapter 1, Choose Your Suffering. Cameron Hans believes that truly reaching your potential isn't about comfort. It's about consistently pushing beyond what feels easy, even embracing discomfort and suffering. He illustrates this through his own life, starting with a seemingly simple run up Mount Pisgah with David Goggins. Hans quickly realized Goggins didn't adjust his stride for the uphill climb, a sign that he wasn't letting the difficulty dictate his performance. He was imposing his will on the challenge. This is a core idea for Hans. It's not about avoiding hard things, but about maintaining your standards even when things get tough. He observes that Goggins doesn't just become tougher during hardship. He seems to transform into a more capable version of himself when pushed to his limits. Hans' own journey demonstrates this principle. He wasn't always a dedicated athlete. He describes a period of aimlessness after college, even quitting a 10K race halfway through. It was becoming a father that sparked a change, a need to become a better version of himself. He started with bow hunting, then running, then ultramarathons, each challenge building on the last. He didn't just want to be good at hunting. He wanted to be capable of enduring the extreme conditions required to hunt in remote wilderness. This wasn't about the hunt itself, but about the person he became through the hunt. He actively sought out challenges, recognizing that the discomfort was a necessary ingredient for growth. The author emphasizes that this isn't about natural talent, but about consistent effort and a willingness to suffer. He recounts his experiences in the Eagle Cap wilderness, often hunting alone, facing harsh conditions, and learning to rely on his own resilience. These experiences weren't always pleasant, but they built a deep confidence and self-reliance. He realized that in the grand scheme of things, his individual struggles were insignificant, which paradoxically freed him to push harder. This acceptance of his own smallness in the face of nature allowed him to focus on maximizing his own capabilities. Hans' encounters with others, like Chris Williamson and Mike Glover, reinforce this idea. Williamson's discussion of chosen suffering, deliberately seeking out challenges to prepare for life's inevitable hardships, resonated with Hans. Glover, a former Green Beret, explained that resilience is built through exposure to adversity. It's not about avoiding weakness, but about identifying it and actively working to overcome it. Hans sees the lift, run, shoot experience as a way to force people to confront their limitations and build that resilience. Ultimately, Hans believes that the key to unlocking your potential is to embrace a mindset of continuous improvement through deliberate hardship. He doesn't focus on long-term goals, but on the daily commitment to run, lift, shoot, a simple formula that represents a dedication to consistent effort. He understands that the journey itself is the reward, and that the pursuit of greatness is more valuable than actually achieving it. He advocates for a life lived in the present, focused on the actions you can take today to become a stronger, more capable version of yourself. He believes that hard work isn't just rewarded, it's the foundation upon which all success is built. Chapter 2, Find a Way. Cameron Hans believes that truly challenging experiences are the key to unlocking your potential. He doesn't believe in easy hunts or goals. He actively seeks out the most difficult ones because he knows that's where real growth happens. He frames this idea around his 2008 Dall sheep hunt in Alaska, a pursuit with incredibly low success rates, only about 1% for bow hunters. This wasn't just about getting an animal. It was about proving to himself he could overcome something incredibly hard. Hans understood that success wouldn't come naturally, it would require intense preparation, both mentally and physically. He knew he needed to be at his absolute best to even have a chance. The author's motivation wasn't just about wanting a sheep. It was about refusing to be part of the 99% who failed. He researched past success rates, realizing how slim his chances were, and this didn't discourage him, it fueled him. Hans explains that knowing how difficult something is can actually be a powerful motivator. He uses the example of comparing the sheep hunt's 1% success rate to elk hunting's 10% rate. The lower the odds, the more determined he became. This illustrates a core principle. Embracing challenges rather than avoiding them is how you push yourself. He also acknowledges the importance of respecting the environment and the animal, understanding that pushing his limits also meant being prepared for unpredictable conditions and potential setbacks. Hans' preparation wasn't limited to just physical training. He actively sought discomfort, pushing his body through grueling endurance events like the Boston Marathon, a 50K trail race, and a 50K ultramarathon with significant elevation gain. These weren't just random races. They were specifically chosen to prepare him for the physical demands of the sheep hunt. He understood that the mountains would require a level of fitness most people wouldn't possess, and he was willing to do whatever it took to reach that level. The story of getting lost during the Forest Park Ultra highlights another important point. Setbacks are inevitable. The course was sabotaged, adding unexpected miles and mental strain. But instead of giving up, Hans used it as another opportunity to build resilience. The author's mindset is crucial. He admits to doubting himself, but he combats those doubts with relentless effort. He believes that hard work keeps doubt at bay because it builds confidence. He knows that if he puts in the work, he's more likely to succeed. This isn't about arrogance. It's about trusting in his preparation and knowing he's done everything he can. Hans' story isn't just about physical endurance, it's about mental fortitude. He emphasizes that the mental challenges are often as difficult as the physical ones, and that's why he intentionally seeks out experiences that test both. Hans draws inspiration from others who push their limits, like Ned Brockman, who ran 50 marathons in 50 days while working a full-time job, and Derek Wolfe, a former NFL player who overcame a difficult childhood to achieve success. These individuals demonstrate a similar mindset, a willingness to do more, to embrace discomfort, and to question what's possible. Wolfe's story, in particular, highlights how overcoming adversity can build resilience and prepare you for future challenges. Hans admires their determination and uses their stories as motivation. The Dall sheep hunt itself is a testament to Hans' commitment. Even after making a poor shot, he didn't give up. He tracked the ram, faced a dangerous situation on a steep cliff, and ultimately harvested the animal. This wasn't a clean, easy kill. It was a hard-fought victory that required courage, skill, and unwavering determination. The near disaster on the cliff edge underscores the risks involved and the importance of mental toughness. He held onto the ram, literally risking his life, because he had invested so much in the hunt and refused to let it slip away. Ultimately, Hans' message is about embracing the struggle. He believes that the most rewarding experiences are the ones that push you to your limits. He emphasizes the importance of preparation, resilience, and a relentless work ethic. He learned from his guide and friend, Roy Roth, that success isn't about being naturally gifted. It's about being willing to go the extra mile, to do what others won't, and to never give up on your dreams. He concludes that being better on the 10th day, when you're exhausted and discouraged, is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's about having the determination to keep pushing, even when it feels impossible. Chapter 3, Make a Good Shot. Cameron Hans believes that reaching your full potential isn't about having special gifts. It's about consistent effort and a relentless focus. He shares stories from his own life, like his archery experiences, to show how pushing beyond what feels comfortable is the key to success. He explains that true mastery comes from making practice so ingrained that it feels natural, like breathing. He doesn't just shoot when he feels like it. He shoots every single day, in all kinds of weather and conditions, even in a bathrobe with one sock. This dedication isn't about being a perfect archer all the time. It's about building the mental and physical toughness to perform when it really matters, during crunch time. Hans emphasizes that you can't truly prepare for high-pressure situations by trying to perfectly recreate them. Instead, he creates his own pressure in practice, like shooting through a truck window, to train his focus and eliminate distractions. He recalls a memorable moment cutting the ribbon at a cabeless store, opening with an arrow. A seemingly simple shot, made incredibly difficult by the crowd and cameras. This illustrates his point that even easy tasks become challenging under pressure, and consistent practice is what allows you to succeed. He uses the example of professional golfers like Tiger Woods, who develop specific routines to block out distractions and concentrate on the task at hand. The author argues that bow hunting demands a level of focus that surpasses many other sports. Unlike football or baseball, where athletes react to external stimuli, bow hunting requires intense internal concentration. It's not about reacting to a moving target. It's about controlling your own body and mind to make a precise shot on a living, breathing animal. He vividly describes the intensity of hunting a bull elk, emphasizing the life-or-death stakes and the need to remain calm and focused amidst chaos. This is where all the practice pays off, allowing him to block out fear and execute the shot. Hans highlights the importance of mental toughness, drawing on the experiences of world champion archer Levi Morgan. Morgan's story shows that even incredibly talented individuals face challenges and setbacks. He overcame early struggles by meticulously analyzing his weaknesses and relentlessly working to improve them. Morgan's dedication to practice, logging every detail of his shots, allowed him to identify patterns and refine his technique. This illustrates that improvement isn't just about physical ability. It's about understanding your own limitations and actively working to overcome them. The author connects this idea of focused practice to overcoming fear. He acknowledges that fear is a natural response, but it can be crippling if not managed. He shares his own experiences and those of others, describing how adrenaline can cause people to freeze or make mistakes under pressure. The key, Hans explains, is to prepare yourself mentally and physically so that you can control your fear and maintain focus. He emphasizes the importance of consistent training and building a strong mental foundation. He uses the example of a hunter freezing up during a crucial moment, highlighting how preparation can prevent such failures. Hans believes that finding something you're passionate about is essential for unlocking your potential. He describes how bow hunting transformed his life, giving him a purpose and a focus that he lacked before. He encourages readers to find their own thing, something that demands their full attention and allows them to push their limits. He uses the analogy of a narrow cone of attention, explaining how focusing on a single task can create a sense of calm and clarity. He shares a conversation with trail runner Sally McRae, who emphasized the importance of eliminating distractions and focusing on the steps needed to achieve a goal. Ultimately, Hans' message is about the power of consistent effort and unwavering focus. He believes that anyone can achieve their goals if they are willing to put in the work and dedicate themselves to the process. He encourages readers to start small, to build on their progress each day, and to never give up on their dreams. He concludes with a simple but powerful message. All you need is a willingness to start and a determination to finish. It's not about having the best equipment or the most talent. It's about the commitment to push beyond your limits and become the best version of yourself. Chapter 4, Get Up and Go. Cameron Hans believes that unlocking your potential isn't about having special gifts. It's about consistent effort. He starts by sharing a conversation with Joe Rogan, where he revealed his daily routine lifting weights, running, and archery, every single day without a day off. Rogan was surprised, admitting he enjoys rest days, but Hans explained he can't take days off, highlighting a dedication that goes beyond simply wanting to improve. It's a necessary part of who he is. This sets the stage for the chapter's central idea. Undeniable people aren't necessarily born with extraordinary abilities, they are defined by their unwavering work ethic. Hans emphasizes that this consistency isn't limited to physical pursuits like sports. It applies to any area of life, business, leadership, relationships, anything you want to excel in. He uses the analogy of a sinking ship, explaining that without constant effort, everything falls apart. He's noticed this pattern with everyone he admires, from fellow hunters to successful entrepreneurs. They all share this relentless drive. He learned this himself, growing up lacking confidence and direction, But discovering bow hunting gave him a purpose and a taste of success that fueled his desire to work harder. He wasn't naturally gifted, but he refused to quit, and that's what made the difference. The author introduces Nick Bear, a U.S. Army veteran and successful businessman, as an example of this principle in action. Bear, like Hans, wasn't a standout athlete or student growing up. He overcame a serious eating disorder and discovered a passion for fitness and nutrition, eventually building a multi-million-dollar company. Hans recounts a 20-mile run with Bear, impressed by his endurance. Bear's story includes a moment of doubt during a marathon training run where he almost gave up, but he pushed through, adopting the mantra, "Go one more." This became a powerful motivator, illustrating the idea that small, consistent efforts add up over time. Bear stresses that consistently being good is more valuable than occasionally being great, like a runner who logs miles every day, even when it's difficult, versus someone who only pushes themselves during races. Hans points out that even successful people face criticism, recalling how Bear was doubted when he announced his goal to run a sub-3-hour marathon. But Bear didn't let negativity stop him. He trained harder and eventually achieved his goal. This resilience, Hans notes, is a common trait among those who reach their full potential. He admits to initially doubting Bear's ability, but was inspired by his success, prompting him to examine his own training and consider how he could improve. Hans admires Bear's winning attitude and believes that with a solid plan and unwavering dedication, almost anything is achievable. The chapter then shifts to Courtney Dauwalter, a legendary ultramarathon runner. Dauwalter's journey wasn't instant. It was built over years of consistent running. She discovered a love for the sport in high school, appreciating the control and meditative aspect of it. She didn't initially dream of ultramarathons, but gradually increased her distances, embracing the challenge. Dauwalter's story includes a setback, quitting a 100-mile race due to pain, but she didn't let that discourage her. Instead, she learned to push through discomfort and developed a mental toughness that has made her one of the best in the world. She advises aspiring runners to start small and build consistency, adding grains of sand to the pile each day. Dauwalter emphasizes that consistent effort is more important than natural talent. She believes anyone can achieve their goals with a plan and dedication. She highlights the importance of showing up even when you don't feel like it, and of revising your plan when you encounter setbacks. Hans connects this to his own experience, recognizing that his success isn't about being an exceptional athlete, but about relentless hard work. He understands that achieving greatness requires sacrifice and a willingness to push beyond your comfort zone. He shares a personal example of mentally pushing himself during runs, dismissing those who are comfortable at home as pusses to fuel his motivation. Ultimately, Hans argues that consistency is the key to unlocking your potential. He uses the metaphor of sharpening the dull blades, focusing on areas where you need to improve. He concludes by encouraging readers to embrace the grind, the hard work, the sweat, the exhaustion, and to love the process of striving for more. He believes that with consistent effort, anyone can achieve their dreams, regardless of their starting point. It's not about being the most talented, it's about being the most dedicated. Chapter 5, Just Watch What Happens. Cameron Hans believes that truly becoming your best self requires a level of discipline that goes far beyond simply being consistent or determined. He argues that it's about facing and overcoming your own self-destructive tendencies, the things that hold you back from achieving what you're capable of. He uses bow hunting as an example, explaining how it demands physical and mental toughness, hiking challenging terrain, enduring harsh weather, and maintaining focus under pressure. It's a pursuit that exposes your weaknesses and forces you to confront them. Hans emphasizes that the biggest battles aren't with external challenges, but with internal ones. He points to things like overeating or excessive drinking as examples of self-sabotage, explaining that you can't expect to excel if you're actively undermining your own efforts. He shares that many successful people he's spoken with have struggled with similar issues, including his own past with alcohol. He frames this as a universal fork in the road, referencing Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken, where you must choose a path, one that leads to growth and discipline, or one that leads to stagnation and regret. The author illustrates this point with his own story, detailing a difficult youth marked by instability and a reliance on alcohol to cope. He describes a cycle of drinking to numb pain, then drinking more to feel less guilty about the drinking. He highlights a turning point, crashing his truck, as a moment where he had to choose between continuing down a destructive path or forging a new one. This choice, he argues, is available to everyone. He uses the example of his brother Taylor, who faced immense grief after the loss of his son and channeled that pain into running ultramarathons, demonstrating how hardship can be a catalyst for positive change. Hans supports his ideas by sharing stories of others who have overcome significant obstacles. He talks about Natalie Eva Marie, a professional wrestler and ultramarathoner, who battled self-doubt and addiction before finding success through discipline and self-belief. He also discusses Jelly Roll, a musician who transformed his life from addiction and incarceration to achieving musical success. These examples show that overcoming personal demons is often a crucial step towards reaching your full potential. He notes that these individuals didn't just stumble into success. They actively chose a harder path, one that required denying themselves immediate gratification for long-term gains. The author stresses that discipline isn't just about avoiding bad habits, it's about actively pursuing excellence. He believes that focusing on the big things, making fundamental lifestyle changes, is more impactful than obsessing over minor details. He uses the analogy of a windshield being bigger than a rear-view mirror, meaning that your focus should be on the future and what you can control, rather than dwelling on past mistakes. He emphasizes that pushing your limits, even when it's uncomfortable, is essential for growth. Hans illustrates this through his own experiences with endurance running, describing the grueling conditions of races like the Bigfoot 200 and the mental fortitude required to persevere. He explains that the pain is temporary, but the lessons learned and the sense of accomplishment are lasting. He believes that consistently challenging yourself, even when you don't feel like it, builds resilience and unlocks potential you never knew you had. He concludes by encouraging readers to identify their own mountains, the challenges they need to overcome, and to start chipping away at them, one day at a time. He believes that anyone can improve themselves through hard work and dedication, regardless of their natural talent. Chapter 6, Bet on Yourself. Cameron Hans finds himself reflecting on his journey while hunting elk in Arizona, a place he once only dreamed of reaching. He acknowledges a common feeling, that he doesn't always deserve the opportunities he's been given. This isn't about lacking gratitude, but about recognizing that life isn't always fair and that success isn't simply handed out. Hans believes that pushing beyond perceived limits is key to achieving something great, and that belief is what initially fueled his ambition. He didn't start with special talents, just big dreams and a willingness to work. The author's story isn't just about hunting, it's about a mindset. He recalls wanting to be sponsored by a major brand, like Under Armour, and feeling frustrated that the industry didn't immediately recognize his dedication. This frustration, however, didn't paralyze him. Instead, it motivated him to prove his worth. He actively sought opportunities, like attending trade shows and directly approaching companies, demonstrating that taking initiative is crucial. Hans' persistence eventually led to a long-term partnership with Under Armour, proving that believing in yourself and relentlessly pursuing your goals can open doors. He illustrates this by recalling his direct, honest feedback about a bow in an Under Armour advertisement, a bold move that ultimately caught their attention. Hans' journey highlights the importance of self-belief, even when it feels unrealistic. He describes having bigger dreams than he deserved, but that didn't stop him from chasing them. This is a powerful idea, that you don't need to feel inherently worthy to strive for greatness. It's the effort, the dedication, and the refusal to give up that truly matter. He emphasizes that simply wanting success isn't enough. You have to actively work towards it, even when it's difficult. His story with Hoyt Archery exemplifies this, where he bypassed traditional negotiation and requested a lifetime contract, showcasing a confident and unwavering belief in his value. The author draws a parallel between his journey and that of Michael Waddell, a successful hunting personality. Both men started with humble beginnings and seized opportunities when they arose. Waddell's story reinforces the idea that success often requires taking risks. He left a stable job to pursue a career in hunting, a decision that many would consider crazy. However, Waddell understood that even a small chance of success was worth pursuing, and he was willing to work incredibly hard to make it happen. This willingness to bet on himself, as Waddell puts it, is a common thread among those who achieve extraordinary things. Hans acknowledges the uncomfortable truth that success can sometimes breed resentment from others. He suggests that those who criticize often haven't taken the same risks or put in the same effort. This is a reminder that pursuing your dreams will inevitably attract negativity, but it's important to stay focused on your own path and not let others derail your progress. He and Waddell both agree that those who don't take chances often harbor bitterness towards those who do. The author's experience with Under Armour further illustrates the importance of innovation and self-promotion. He didn't simply accept the status quo. He challenged the company to do things differently, proposing a new approach to content creation with daily updates and a quicker release of films. This demonstrates a willingness to push boundaries and a belief in his own vision. He understood the power of social media and leveraged it to connect with his audience in a more immediate and engaging way. Hans' conversation with Aaron Rodgers, the NFL quarterback, reinforces the idea of ego death, the process of confronting your limitations and rebuilding yourself. Rodgers explains that facing adversity and questioning your own abilities can lead to significant growth. This isn't about self-deprecation, but about recognizing that there's always room for improvement and that setbacks are opportunities for learning. Rodgers' story, like Hans', is a testament to the power of hard work, self-belief, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Ultimately, Hans' message is about embracing the grind and refusing to settle for mediocrity. He acknowledges that he sometimes feels undeserving of his success, but that doesn't stop him from continuing to push himself. He focuses on the present moment and constantly asks himself what's next, what he can learn, and how he can grow. This mindset, combined with unwavering dedication and a willingness to take risks, is what has allowed him to achieve his full potential. He concludes that believing in yourself, putting in the work, and redefining your own standards are the keys to unlocking extraordinary results. Chapter 7: Smash the Gas Pedal Down. Cameron Hans explores what drives people to push past what seems possible, to truly reach their potential. He begins by recalling an Under Armour commercial he filmed, questioning what makes people strive for more. The commercial featured him alongside a wolf. Both hunting and the implied victory resonated with Hans, though he felt a more definitive image, actually arrowing the wolf, would have been more powerful. This illustrates a core idea, a desire not just to succeed, but to completely dominate a challenge, to leave no doubt. He recognizes the wildness even in a trained animal, a tenacious spirit that mirrors the drive within himself and others he admires. Hans then introduces Iron Michael Chandler, a mixed martial arts fighter, as someone who embodies this relentless pursuit. Chandler's story isn't just about physical strength, but about overcoming a mental block. He was incredibly hardworking, yet initially lacked belief in his own ability to win. This is a crucial point Hans makes. Physical preparation is only half the battle. Chandler's journey highlights the importance of self-belief, of truly accepting your potential and pushing past self-doubt. The author emphasizes that Chandler didn't just build a stronger body, he rebuilt his mindset, ultimately leading to success. Hans' own lift, run, shoot challenges are designed to test this very thing, the ability to push through mental and physical barriers. The author then shares a hunting experience on the San Carlos Apache Reservation, setting the stage to introduce Katie Knight, an ultramarathoner and champion. Knight's dedication is simple: hard work, She trains relentlessly, twice a day, 6 days a week. Hands points out that Knight doesn't just endure hardship. She likes to push her limits, finding beauty and reward in the suffering. This speaks to a fundamental aspect of reaching potential, embracing discomfort. Knight's ability to complete grueling races, like running the rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon, isn't about avoiding pain, but about accepting it as part of the process. She understands that mental toughness is often the deciding factor, and that the body will follow where the mind leads. Hands continues by introducing Ken Rideout, an athlete who boldly declared he would win the Gobi March, a 155-mile race across the desert. Rideout's confidence wasn't arrogance, but a form of self-accountability. By publicly stating his goal, he created pressure to perform, forcing himself to work harder. This illustrates the power of setting ambitious goals and owning them. The author notes that many people are afraid to declare their intentions for fear of failure, but Rideout understood that the risk of falling short was worth the motivation it provided. The chapter then shifts to UFC legend Donald "Cowboy" Cerrone, who embodies an anytime, anywhere attitude. Cerrone's success stems from a strong work ethic instilled by his grandparents and a refusal to make excuses. He emphasizes the importance of consistently putting in the effort, even when it's difficult. Hands highlights Cerrone's perspective on haters, suggesting that they are often those who haven't pushed themselves to achieve anything. This reinforces the idea that focusing on self-improvement is more valuable than seeking external validation. Finally, Hands introduces Courtney Dauwalter, an ultramarathoner known for her incredible endurance and mental fortitude. Dauwalter's story emphasizes the importance of listening to your body, recognizing its limits, and adapting accordingly. She learned from a past injury that pushing too hard without proper recovery can be detrimental. However, she also possesses an unwavering determination to discover what's possible, constantly setting new challenges for herself. Hands admires her ability to push boundaries while remaining humble and grounded. Throughout the chapter, Hands consistently emphasizes that reaching your full potential isn't about innate talent, but about relentless effort, unwavering self-belief, and a willingness to embrace discomfort. It's about battling your own limitations, not external opponents, and constantly striving to be better than the person you were yesterday. He concludes with a powerful message: the only thing that can truly stop you is yourself. The struggle is ongoing, but each day presents an opportunity to win a small battle in the lifelong war against your own limitations. Chapter 8, Spend time doing something you love. Cameron Hands believes that unlocking your potential isn't about having special talent. It's about relentless effort and a deep passion for what you do. He starts by recalling a quote from Joe Rogan, who referenced a samurai's idea that once you master one thing, success becomes easier in all areas of life. Hands noticed this pattern himself, observing that people successful in one field often excel in others. He attributes this to a core ability to find the way, a mindset of dedication and discipline that translates across different pursuits. This isn't about being naturally gifted, but about building a foundation of success that makes new challenges feel less daunting. Hands emphasizes the importance of mental toughness, drawing from Joe Rogan's own journey with martial arts. Rogan pushed himself incredibly hard from a young age, waking up with a fierce urgency and dismissing comfort as weakness. While this extreme approach might seem intense, the underlying principle is valuable: developing the muscle of discipline. It's about choosing hard work over ease and recognizing that life often demands doing what should be done, not just what you want to do. This isn't about self-punishment, but about building resilience and a strong work ethic. The author highlights that passion is the fuel for this kind of dedication. He notes that Rogan seeks out guests on his podcast who are deeply passionate about their work, regardless of how unusual or mainstream it might be. Hands himself experienced this firsthand, as Rogan discovered his work through his bow hunting videos and recognized his commitment. This passion isn't just about enjoyment. It's about a driving force that attracts others and opens doors. When you genuinely care about something, people notice and opportunities arise. Hans illustrates this point with the example of Dr. Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist who gained a large following by sharing his passion for learning. Huberman's story shows that even individuals who faced early challenges like teasing and family difficulties can achieve great things through dedication and a thirst for knowledge. He overcame obstacles by focusing intensely on his studies and setting ambitious goals. Huberman's journey demonstrates that setbacks don't define you. It's how you respond to them that matters. The author shares his own experience with Evan Hafer, founder of Black Rifle Coffee Company, to further illustrate the power of overcoming fear and pushing through hardship. Hafer built his business from nothing, facing financial struggles and immense pressure. His secret: he refused to let fear hold him back and was relentlessly committed to his vision. Hafer's story is a testament to the idea that success isn't about luck, but about enduring difficult times and maintaining unwavering focus. Hans connects these stories to his own journey, recalling how he found his passion for bow hunting and writing. He emphasizes that even small steps, consistently taken, can lead to significant achievements. He encourages readers to identify their own passions and pursue them with the same intensity. He believes that everyone has the potential to achieve great things, but it requires a willingness to embrace challenges and push beyond their comfort zones. Ultimately, Hans argues that life is about finding something you love and dedicating yourself to it fully. He draws inspiration from Courtney Dauwalter, a long-distance runner who finds joy in the challenge of pushing her physical limits. He also points to Lance Armstrong as an example of someone who embodies relentless determination. The author concludes by urging readers to dream big, embrace hard work, and never give up on their passions, recognizing that the journey itself is as important as the destination. He believes that by consistently striving for excellence, individuals can unlock their full potential and live a truly fulfilling life. Chapter 9: Face Reality. Cameron Hand's story isn't just about hunting. It's a deep dive into what it takes to become the best version of yourself, even when, and especially when, things get incredibly tough. He believes pushing past what feels possible is the key to unlocking potential, and his life is built around constantly testing those limits. The chapter opens with a reflection on Roy Roth, a legendary hunter who embodied this spirit, and how his loss fueled Hand's own drive to continue striving for more. This isn't about simply being strong. It's about mental toughness and a refusal to give up, even when facing overwhelming odds. Hans frequently compares himself to others, but not in a way that brings him down. Instead, he uses exceptional individuals, like Fred Bear, Chuck Adams, and the Alaskan hunters he admires, as benchmarks. He doesn't aim to simply match them, he wants to surpass them. This isn't about ego, but about understanding that growth requires constantly challenging yourself against the highest standards. He explains that winning isn't the ultimate goal. It's the struggle, the getting back up after being knocked down, that truly matters. This idea is reinforced by the story of Dakota Mayer, a Marine who faced unimaginable hardship and found strength in pushing through suffering. Mayer's perspective, that resilience comes from staying in the discomfort, resonates deeply with Hand's own philosophy. The author's upbringing, shaped by his grandfather's demanding nature, played a crucial role in building this mindset. His grandfather didn't offer sympathy. He offered hard work and a clear expectation of toughness. This wasn't about being unkind, but about preparing Hans for the challenges life would inevitably throw his way. This early lesson instilled a belief that discomfort is a necessary part of growth. Hans carries this lesson into his hunting, seeking out the most difficult hunts in the most unforgiving environments, like Kodiak Island, Alaska. He and Roy consistently chose challenges that pushed them to their physical and mental limits, not for the glory, but for the experience of overcoming. Hans' dedication to pushing boundaries extends to his family life. He admits to being a demanding father, pushing his sons to achieve their best, even if it meant facing criticism. While he acknowledges this approach wasn't always perfect, he believed in preparing them for a world that wouldn't offer handouts. His son Trout's journey to break the world record for pull-ups exemplifies this principle. Trout faced setbacks, doubt, and immense physical pain, but he persevered, ultimately achieving his goal. This story highlights the importance of mental fortitude and the ability to learn from failure. Trout's realization that failure isn't the opposite of success, but a stepping stone towards it, is a powerful message. The final hunting story, involving a grizzly bear in Alaska, illustrates the unpredictable nature of pushing limits. Despite meticulous preparation and a well-aimed shot, the hunt didn't go as planned. The bear didn't die immediately, requiring additional shots from others, which frustrated Hans because it compromised his ideal of a pure bow hunt. This experience, while disappointing, reinforces the idea that control is an illusion. Life, like a hunt, is full of unexpected variables. The key isn't to avoid these challenges, but to embrace them, learn from them, and continue striving for improvement. Hans' reflection on Roy, and the realization that his friend would have found humor in the situation, underscores the importance of perspective and the enduring power of a strong spirit. Ultimately, Hans' story is a testament to the idea that reaching your full potential isn't about avoiding hardship, but about relentlessly pursuing it. Chapter 10, Make the Most Impact. Cameron Hans deeply believes that everyone has a hidden strength waiting to be discovered, and that pushing past what feels possible is the key to unlocking it. Throughout the chapter, Hans emphasizes that reaching your full potential isn't about natural talent, but about relentless effort and a refusal to give up. He uses examples from his own life, like his journey to becoming a dedicated bow hunter, to show how a simple passion can become a driving force for self-improvement. He wasn't born a skilled hunter. He became one through hard work and dedication. Hans illustrates this idea by sharing stories of others who have overcome obstacles and achieved greatness. He talks about Branlin Shockey, who initially didn't share his family's passion for hunting but found his purpose in filmmaking, and Tulsi Gabbard, a politician and military veteran who consistently tests her physical and mental limits. These individuals demonstrate that purpose isn't always obvious and can evolve over time. What matters is finding something that ignites a fire within you and then relentlessly pursuing it. He points out that even seemingly successful people like the Shockey family didn't immediately embrace their paths. It took exploration and dedication. The author stresses the importance of embracing discomfort. He uses his own lift, run, shoot challenges as examples, pushing himself and others to physical extremes to reveal hidden reserves of strength. He learned from the mountain itself, recognizing that it doesn't care about excuses. It simply reveals your true level of preparedness. This concept is echoed in Tulsi Gabbard's experience with the challenging mountain run, where the physical test exposed her true fitness level. Hans suggests that these kinds of challenges aren't just about physical endurance, but about mental fortitude and honesty with oneself. Hans also highlights the power of faith and purpose in overcoming adversity. He shares stories of people like Dakota Mayer and Sally McRae, who found strength and direction through their beliefs. McRae's story, in particular, demonstrates how finding a purpose beyond oneself, serving God and others, can provide resilience in the face of immense hardship. Hans believes that having a strong why, a clear sense of purpose, is essential for pushing through difficult times and achieving long-term goals. He uses the analogy of running a race. Even when it feels impossible, holding on to hope and believing in a greater purpose can keep you moving forward. The chapter emphasizes that impact isn't limited to grand gestures. Even small acts of kindness and encouragement can have a ripple effect, inspiring others to live more fully. Hans shares the story of Ned Brockman, who ran across Australia to inspire others, and Wayne and Dicott, who found purpose in street ministry. These examples demonstrate that making a positive impact doesn't require fame or fortune, but simply a willingness to share your gifts and talents with the world. He encourages readers to ask themselves how they can best be of service, and to live a life that leaves a positive mark. Ultimately, Hans argues that becoming undeniable isn't about innate ability, but about consistent effort, unwavering dedication, and a commitment to living a life of purpose. He encourages readers to embrace challenges, push their limits, and never stop striving to reach their full potential. He believes that everyone has something unique to offer the world, and that by discovering and pursuing their purpose, they can live a life of meaning and fulfillment. He concludes with a call to action, urging readers to start today and to give everything they have to achieve their dreams. And that brings us to the end of our summary of this book. I hope you found it insightful and valuable. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more. Your support helps us bring you more great content. Thanks for watching.